Today, I'm going to tell you my story about how I quit trading my time for money, and you can too. A lot of times we are, as health professionals, we're in a business, or we're in a career, or we have a job and we're trading the 9 to 5. We're working 40 hours a week, or we are just struggling to get ends meet. And it wasn't always easy to be able to do that, but I'm going to share with you what are some of the principles that helped me to be making $10,000 a month in my early 20s, and that is disconnected from my time. And I've been able to have this financial independence, or this freedom to be able to choose my schedule and do things that are meaningful since then. So beforehand, before I was able to get to that point, I first had to really have the mind and to understand why it was so important. Because a lot of times I realized that whenever we are trading our time for money, what we've done is we've now connected. We have now limited our income generation to the most scarcest resource that we have, which is our time. And like money can be spent and you can get it back again, but time lost can never be gathered again. So what I was on a mission, what I wanted to do is I wanted to get the bolt cutters out and just chop off the chain that bound me from being able to create more income. So what are some of the ways that we connect our income generation with our time? Sometimes it's through the working wages. I learned that profits are a lot better than wages, because profits, there's no limit to what you can have. Wages, there's a limit of your time. I realized one-on-one coaching is trading time for money, and there's only so much that you can actually fit in your calendar doing one-on-one coaching calls. And one of the biggest breakthroughs that I got was when I was 17, I was invited to go speak at this event. This is the first time I got a first paid talk. And I was over there. I wasn't expecting to be able to get paid. I was just, so someone invited me to speak. I said, sure, I'd love to. And I got there. And once I finished, the organizer gave me $100 for this hour speaking slot. And I was like, what's this for? He's like, oh, well, each of the speakers who were here at this event, we paid for their flight, their trip, their food, their housing, and we gave them extra. Each one of them got paid per speech, and we also gave them extra because they've got families that they need to provide for. But because you're in high school, we want to encourage you, but we know that you don't have as many expenses to cover, and so we wanted to give you $100. And I was like, wait a second. You mean to tell me that there are people in this world who actually speak and share their knowledge on things I would gladly do for free, but they're able to be able to earn a living doing this, and not just earning peanuts, but enough to provide for their family? I was like, what? That was the day that I became psychologically unemployable, because I realized that this was an example of what's possible. For me, I realized if there's people out there who can do it, then so could I. So I dedicated the next 12 years of my life figuring out everything that I can about how can I share my knowledge in a way that's financially sustainable for me, my family, to build a team, to be able to serve others. And it's just I've learned everything that I can about being able to package our knowledge in books, courses, and coaching and speaking engagements, and everything that I possibly can, and trying to figure out how to monetize this knowledge online. And but one of the reasons why it was so profound for me is because at that time, when I was in high school, I was working at this assembly line of making these toy trains. And we would take these pieces of plastic from one bucket, twist them off, and put them in separate buckets. And we just did that. It was mind-numbing. And it was just, I was working at $8.50 an hour. And if I were to work in 10 hours for that day, I'd only make $85. And it's so effectively what I just did is I took an entire day's wages and I learned how to make it in a day. And I was in an hour. I made a whole day's wages and I made it in an hour. So that was more than if I would work all day. And I was like, whoa, there's something to this. This is amazing. So it was shortly after that I started getting booked to speak all across the West Coast before the time I turned 18, and did my first speaking tour when I was 19 and traveled the East and West Coast speaking, and eventually to Canada, and being able to travel internationally, doing health lectures, cooking classes, and health seminars, and sharing everything that I possibly, everywhere that I was invited. And another thing that's really like gives you some perspective of what this was is, you know how much an average family doctor was making in that year? It was about $96 an hour. So what I was able to do is be able to make as much in an hour as it takes like a whole family doctor who goes through like 8 years of education to try to figure this stuff out. I was like, this is amazing. And someone that I met who was in the audience who heard me speak, they saw that I was young. They saw that I had knowledge that was clear, that was simple, that was relatable, that was profound. And they're like, are you willing to share this? There's going to be a youth conference over in Florida, and I want you to go share with them over there. Would you be open to traveling? And I said, sure. So what happened was they paid for my flight ticket, my hotel. They paid for my speaking. They paid for everything that I needed. And really, it was the first time that I actually got in a plane. It was the first time I stayed at a hotel. It was the first time I traveled to the East Coast. First time I traveled alone. I was 18 years old, and I was like, this is actually me in the hotel. I took a photo because I was just so excited. I'm like, what is going on here? Because I thought about like how so many times people, they will spend money to go on vacation. They'll spend money to go travel the world or travel, and to have these experiences that expand your world and meet new people and do new things. But here I am getting paid to travel. And that's coming from a young man who, like our family, we drove clunker cars that we like, it's like a Praymobile because you pray that it's going to get you from point A to point B without leaving you stranded. Walmart was like 11 miles away on the other side of the city, and we went there like once a year because it was so far away. We didn't want to drive. We were concerned about being able to drive that far. So to be able to then have speaking take me throughout California and in Washington, Idaho, and North Carolina and Georgia, and all around the nation, and eventually internationally, it was like, this was a big deal for me. And I started to realize that people are like, you can get your travels paid for and be able to make a generous living doing that. But a lot of health educators want to know how they can get booked and paid to speak. They want to know how they can share their knowledge and monetize their knowledge through speeches, through speaking engagements, at events, through conferences. And so I'm going to share with you, there's two types of health speakers. There's two ways that you can get paid as a health speaker. One of the primary ways, the most common that people think of, is speaking for a fee. And speaking for a fee is what most people think about how they can get paid. I've been paid $10,000 to give a 45-minute speech since then, and like and everything in between, really. And Warren Buffett, he said, Warren Buffett is a billionaire who made his billions with a B in investing. And he's often asked by reporters, I've seen different videos where they've asked him, it's like, Warren Buffett, what was your best investment that you made? And he's, as an investor, you might think, well, maybe it was in Coca-Cola, maybe it was in his Oracle company, or maybe it was in like this company or that company, or like what was, out of all your investments, you've invested a lot. You've been doing this since you were like 10. So what's your best investment? And he always says, my public speaking course was arguably the best investment I made in my life. His best investment was learning how to speak in public, so much so that he got the certification of graduation from a Dale Carnegie public speaking course hanging in his private office, and like till this day, as far as I'm aware. And so what you see is like Warren Buffett is showing that public speaking is one of the most valuable skills that you could possibly learn. And he says, no matter what your career, no matter what your business or wherever you are, you learning how to speak one to many and communicate to a crowd can increase your value at least by 50%. And this is why we found that it's consistently been one of the highest paid speaking the highest paid skills in the marketplace is learning how to speak to an audience. And that's why at 17, I was able to go from $8.50 an hour to be able to speak an hour, $100 in an hour, or $500 in an hour, and sometimes thousands of dollars in an hour, even as a teenager. And it's really profound to be able to recognize the opportunities that are all around us. But even speaking for a fee is not always the best route, because unless you are like A-list celebrity and you've got millions of notoriety, like people are going to get paid for like $50,000 and $60,000 or are higher of speaker fees. Like you generally got to be a big celebrity to get paid like that. So instead, there's a second way where the average people, most people like you and I, are able to really flourish and make a financial contribution through speaking. And that is when you speak for free. Now, you might be saying, wait a second, why is speaking for free have a larger money bag than speaking for a fee? I'm glad you asked. Let me answer. So a lot of times when you're just speaking for a fee, that like those speaker fees, I mean, the average keynote speaker, according to Ashley Kirkwood, makes in America, makes about $7,500 per speech, per keynote speech. And so that's pretty good. But learning how to speak for free can be one of the most profitable things that you can do. And what I mean by that is learning how to make an offer, to speak in a way that actually educates people closer to a sale, that you're learning how to sell from stage or sell from your speech. Here's an example of Razia. She's a client of ours. She is a naturopathic doctor, and before working with us, she was struggling to get one-on-one clients, coaching clients for $400. What we did is we helped her to create an automated booking system and helped her get clear on her sales script and what she's able to share. We crafted an irresistible offer and a signature speech that's optimized for selling her coaching program, Reversing Autoimmune Disease, and she was able to get her first client, her first $3,000 client within the first 10 days of joining our accelerator program. And that's a beautiful thing, because what's cool about this is not only did she learn how to like speak and sell, she was on a call with me and she's like, I had this new client join, and she said it was because of the story that you shared with me. By learning how to craft my story, I asked her, I said, this is Razia speaking to me. She said, I asked her, why did you choose me? Why work with me? And her prospect said, it's because I trust you. You've been where I am. You're more successful than me. You understand the journey. You know where I am and where I need to go. And so I trust you. And when I heard your story, that's when I knew that it was like I wanted to pay you instead of anyone else. And it's so amazing because Razia and I were talking about, like, that's the story that I helped to Razia to be able to craft, to be able to share, because that's the key to learning how to speak for free. That client watched her free webinar, and after going through her free webinar, they got insights and started to see what it's about, and they wanted to join and pay her $3,000. Where Razia was like, okay, well, this is kind of scary, but she followed the process. And this is why you could see that even from free speaking, you can get paid thousands of dollars. So there's a lot of opportunities. How many of you would like to get paid from sharing your signature speech? Type yes in the comment below if you would like to know how to do that. And so the way that I learned is, for the first 5 years, I was teaching cooking classes, health lectures, seminars, and I was traveling, doing videos. I was traveling around the nation speaking, and I wasn't really able to make too much, like, not anything too substantial. It was enough to live, it was enough to survive, but it wasn't so much like thriving. But it wasn't until one of my first millionaire mentors, Dave MacArthur, he's the man in the middle, the blue, he was teaching me how I can speak, how I could profitably speak for free. Because Dave MacArthur made $12 million on the back of his signature speech by learning how to do free events where he's actually selling a product or a program afterwards, a package, to help people with health. He'll do this health education, and as they're going through and they're watching and they're listening, then he would make an offer and people would accept that offer, and he made over $12 million doing that. And I was like, whoa, this is really powerful. So being able to travel and go on speaking tours with him from city to city to city, like once a month, he'd be speaking in these different locations. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot that I was able to learn. And one of the things that Dave taught me is how a lot of times professionals, they'll go from their job and then they create a business because they want freedom. But not all businesses are created equally. In fact, when you're making $100,000 a year, a lot of times you got 100,000 responsibilities. And when your business is making $1 million a year, you got 1 million responsibilities. So people think they own a business, but the business really owns them. And people will go from trading their 40-hour work week in their job to then go work for themselves and work 80 hours in their business. Why? Because they're still employees who are trading time for money, bring that employee mindset into their business, who then also try to trade time for money, but now they're just doing it in a business that you own, and now you're responsible for that. So what ends up happening is, sure, you can make more money, but now you've got these golden handcuffs, and they're more limited on what you can do. David MacArthur also introduced me to some of Warren Buffett's philosophies about finances. He showed how Warren Buffett said that if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will be working until you die. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know that was an option. But Dave MacArthur started to teach me that the skill set required to speak, to teach, is very different than the skill set required to speak, to sell. And as a teacher, as an educator for 5 years, I know how to teach, but those teaching wasn't really bringing clients. It wasn't really bringing the transformation that I was looking for. But by learning how to speak, to sell, and Dave MacArthur was sharing with me how to share stories in a way that overcomes objections, builds belief, has credibility. He was helping me understand how people make decisions. And also the importance of having an offer when you are presenting, so that there's something that people can experience and you can actually help them beyond your speech. So a lot of things started to shift for me as I started to learn these skills and practice and share. I started to start breaking different sales records and being able to grow my business, and through speaking to other people's audiences and partnering with others who have an audience and crafting my signature speech. And that was what helped. Those are some of the skills that helped me to make $10,000 a month in my early 20s. And then there was later on, I started to attend other events. And one of the events I attended was Abundance by Nick Unsworth. And Nick Unsworth was very interesting because at this event, there was about 1,000 faith-based entrepreneurs there. And I was like, wow, all of these entrepreneurs, they want to go make a difference in the lives of other people based on biblical principles. And Nick was teaching on biblical principles. And I'm like, wow, these are my people. This is cool. I like hanging out with these people. And then they made an offer at the end of this event. They had a $3,000 course, and it was about publishing a book. And I saw there was 200 or 250 people who were lined up around the room. You see how big this room is. They were literally lined up from the stage around the room and back where I was standing for the photo and almost out the doors, almost to the doors. And I was like, my friend and I, we were counting the people. We're like, wait a second, 200 people, $3,000 a head. They just made over $100,000 in just this one speech. What is going on here? And then the next day they made another offer for a different offer, and they still had several hundred people, over 100 people lined up ready to sign up. And I was like, this is amazing. There's something here. I literally just saw them make $100,000 a day, and then the next day they made a couple $100,000. I'm like, this is amazing. So I started to realize that there are bigger things. And what helped me to disconnect my income generation from my time is learning how to speak to sell. And when I would sell, I would sell products that they're consumable. So that they would be on shipment, or they would subscribe. And you could do this through a subscription course. You could do this for an annual course, a coaching program that people are able to subscribe to, or a group coaching program that is not trading your time for money. And you could do it through supplements. Supplements, people consume it, they use it every month, and they buy more. And every time that they buy more, what's powerful is David MacArthur taught me about the power of residual income, recurring revenue. It's like we have monthly bills. Why don't we have monthly income? That when you wake up, you already have a certain amount of money. You know that every month there's going to be a consistent, steady stream of income that you're able to pay for your team and your software and other things. So this recurring revenue, and really the passive income is what David MacArthur was teaching me. Is you want a business model that's able to help generate, like Warren Buffett says, generate money for you while you sleep. Whether that's selling online courses, whether that's selling coaching programs, whether that's having taking a signature speech, optimized for sales, and put it through an automated webinar that's able to sell courses or books or coaching or a subscription or supplements, or there's a variety of ways that when you learn to speak to sell, the same principles that allow you to sell from stage will allow you to sell online through an automated webinar. And learning these things and having a client base of which now we have served over 15,000 people with our health products. And so as they're buying each month, it's able to generate consistent income that I'm not continually having to work for. They just, as they're saving money on their groceries, getting our superfood nutrition system, we're able to make passive residual income. Why is it residual? Because you do it once and you get paid continually. So you sign up someone to subscribe to your membership sites one time. It could be $49 a month, and you're teaching them how to cleanse. You're teaching them how to transition for plant-based recipes, or maybe you have a calisthenic workout program, and you upload content to this members area, and they sign up once and they pay you for the rest of the year. And this reoccurring revenue is what really allows a lot more freedom of time. It allows us to disconnect my income generation from my time. And I'm like, wow. What was huge for me is that it takes as much effort to trade time for money as it does to be able to pursue passive income, residual income opportunities where there's higher leverage involved. And but the thing is, it requires a different mindset. One of the biggest problems health educators have when they're trying to monetize their health knowledge online is that they're bringing their employee mindset, trading time for hours. They're thinking value, they get paid for the hours. They don't. What we have to realize is we got to take an entrepreneur mindset. Entrepreneurs get paid differently. When you're in business, you're not getting paid for how many hours you put into a project. You're getting paid for the results. The more valuable the result, the more valuable the money that you're going to be able to earn through that process. So since then, I've been able to go to free speaking events like this one here. I had the opportunity to share for a naturopathic doctors get together. It's like a school that trains naturopathic doctors. And as I was teaching about health marketing, you could see on the slide, there's about 26 people in this room here. And from this hour talk where I was speaking for free, I was able to make an offer, and I've been able to generate $26,500 directly from the speech and trace back from there. And there's 26 people here. That's over $1,000 per person that's in the room. And so you don't need a large audience to make big money online, contrary to popular belief. By understanding how to speak to sell, how to craft irresistible offers that people are willing to pay, they're gladly willing to pay for, this is what helps to be able to help you to get started, help you to scale, help you to get to the next level, and it's by learning these skills. So what I wanted to do is, in order for me to get to that point, I had to invest in myself. I invested in attending events and masterminds, in coaching programs, and just trying to figure out, how do I do that? Like, I learned a lot from Dave, but I continued my education. I attended workshops and masterminds, and one of the seminars, events that I went to was ClickFunnels, or Funnel Hacking Live, and Kiana Daniel was speaking at Funnel Hacking Live. In fact, I'm like, this day, I'm going to go drive over to Nevada to go attend again, because I just gained so much. I'm going to but this time I'm like taking my whole team. I told my team, whoever wants to join, I'll pay for you to go, and I want you to be in the room at Funnel Hacking Live, because there's some really powerful strategies and people that you meet. One of the people I met was Kiana Daniel. She was speaking over there, And everyone in the room got a copy of her book, which was like 5,000 people. She just got her book to. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And then I joined a mastermind where she was there, and I had the opportunity to have dinner with Kiana Daniel, some of my friends that were in part of this mastermind. Each person paid $55,000 to be a part of this mastermind. And we were just talking about having a signature speech and the power of passive income and what we can do. And she literally grabbed out her phone, she pulled up her Stripe, and she showed me on her screen that she has an automated webinar that's making consistently, averaging about $900,000 a month by crafting a signature speech using the same principles that I teach my students. She took that and she's selling her online course through a webinar, and she's making $900,000 a month. And she's been doing that for a while. And I was like, wow, the power, just the example was possible. And she even shared with me how the book that we all got at the event, she took her $900,000 a month webinar signature speech, and she was able to package that and repurpose that into a book. So the book that we all got was also, it was good. It was well put together. It was a quality book. And I saw that. And then the guy next to me, who I was, he was a young man next to me. I was the youngest in the mastermind. He was like the second youngest. And he said that he got the book, he loved the book, and he ended up joining Kiana Daniel's $55,000 mastermind. And as a result of that too. So it's just like having a signature speech is the gift that keeps on giving. And you can see that like a signature speech allows you to disconnect your income generation from your time, because it's one message. You craft it once and you're able to use it for the rest of your career. You can use it again and again and again. It's working for you even while you're sleeping. It's working for you even when you're not. Even when we go to Nevada and I'm taking my team with me, our automated webinars and our sales messages, they're converting clients, they are reaching people, they're serving people, they're adding value, they're solving problems. And it's amazing what's possible when you learn how to speak to sell. And a lot of times people are like, oh, I've had a signature speech, I've gone through speaker training. But the reality is a lot of the speaker trainings that exist today, and when people say signature speech, we may be using the same vocabulary, we're not using the same dictionary, because most signature speeches are not optimized, designed, where every word, every question, every story, every statement, every statistic is optimized for sales. And that's why health educators have a message, have a talk, and they do seminars like me for those first 5 years, and you're going and going and going, and you're still not getting the clients you're looking for. It's because by understanding how to reverse engineer your talk so that you're able to solve problems, serve people, but also do it in a way that, and it makes sense that they would want your help with implementing, want your help with further guidance, to extend the learning environment, to extend the momentum that they've been creating with you. That's what the right signature speech does. That's optimized for sales. And you can do that whenever you speak. Like I'm going to be speaking over in Texas here next month, I believe. And over there, I'm able to share. I'm going to solve problems, and I'm going to make an offer. And it's because of the videos that I've posted that I even got invited to go speak there. And it's amazing because you don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. Before I learned the power of a signature speech, I'd given 300 presentations and never repeating the same one twice. And I was always doing it new because I thought that's what you had to do. But I never realized that you can have a signature talk, and the key is that you don't change the message, you change the audience. So it feels new to them. And when you're able to learn to speak from stage, this is how I've been able to have my first $40,000 day. And if you think about like being able to take what it used to require you to make in a year and then learning how to make that in a day, like that changes something in you. That really opens up possibilities to just have the confidence. Imagine when you know that you can speak, that anytime that you open your mouth, you're able to to make money and the people want to pay you because you understand how the mind makes decisions, and you're able to craft a talk and educate people in a way that actually drives purchasing behaviors, where people are coming to you with tears in their voice, thanking you so much for giving them an opportunity to work with you. And they not only pay you once, they pay you again and again and again, because now you've got that reoccurring revenue. You've disconnected your income generation from your time. This is so powerful. And like, as we talk about this, it's like sometimes we've been so programmed to be afraid of it's like you got to watch out for them get-rich-quick schemes, right? I remember I was attending an event and I was learning from Steve Larson, and this is one of the things he addressed. He made over $10 million on the back of a signature speech. He put in an automated webinar, and so he's made $10 million through the same principles that I'm teaching you today. And he's made over $1 million selling his health drink that helps people to lose weight, his weight loss solution, and his energy solution. And so he's explaining to me, I'm over here at this event, and he's speaking, and we're sharing in this room, and he's just going through this, and he's like, well, I know some people are thinking like, is this one of them get-rich-quick schemes? Is that what this is? And his response was just hilarious. I'll never forget it. He's like, you better hope this is a get-rich-quick scheme, because you don't want to get rich slow, do you? And I was like thinking about that. I'm like, wow, yeah, I guess that's true. Like, why would we want to get rich slow? And it's one of those things too, like even the word like get rich quick schemes has such a negative connotation, but when you look at the word scheme, all it is it's a plan. That's all it is. It's like you got a plan to be able to make money faster. And it's like, what's wrong with that? When I went from spending an entire day, 10 hours to make $85 to being able to make $100 in an hour, is that a scam? Is that a scheme? Is that something strange? No, there's hundreds of thousands of speakers right now who are getting paid thousands of dollars to be able to speak and to share a message that moves the multitudes. It takes the knowledge they already have and impacting people's lives. If there's already hundreds of thousands of people doing it, then why can't you do it too? Why can't I do it? That's what I was thinking when I was 17. And I was like, okay, I'm going to dedicate my life to figuring this out. And learning how to make money faster, it's like when you take what it used to take you to make in a year, you learn how to make that in a month. It's like, okay, that we're talking. Take what you now make in a month and make it in a week. Wow, that's getting better quality of life, better opportunities. You take what you're now making in a week and you learn how to make that in a day. That's when your life is changed. And you can do that through learning how to speak to sell. And so let me ask you a question. If you make $1 million, are you wealthy? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Yes or no, if you make $1 million, are you wealthy? My answer is, it depends. Let's say you make $1 million working at McDonald's. Here's an example of a man, he's the oldest employee in Europe who works for McDonald's. They're celebrating his 90th year birthday at McDonald's. So let's do the math. Let's say you're making $25,000 a year at minimum wage. You work for 40 years at McDonald's. Congratulations, you made $1 million. Are you wealthy? Probably not. That's generally not. So what do we learn from that experience? We learn that wealth is measured more in speed than in dollars. So a lot of times when health educators come to me and they're struggling to get clients and they're struggling with their finances, or maybe they've got operating expenses, living expenses where they're spending more than they're making, they don't have a money problem, they have a speed problem. If they're able to take the money that they make and make it faster, this is like a cure-all. This is what helps to solve the financial struggles that people get into. This is one of the lessons that I learned from Myron Golden, and he's amazing at this. One of the lessons he taught me is that it's easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than it is to make a little money in a long period of time. And it's like, if you really think about that, at first it sounds really like counterintuitive, but really, how many of us understand what that's like to make a little money in a long period of time? You do a lot of work, you do a lot of effort, you do You're trading a lot of time to make little money, and you're still struggling at the end of the day. Dave Ramsey said, if you're struggling financially in this economy, the worst thing you can do is get another job. The best thing you could do is start a home-based business. And Dave MacArthur was sharing with me in his story, he was struggling financially. He was working at a Honda dealership. So what did he do? He started working on cars in the afternoon. He got a second job, and he got a paper route early in the morning. He was working 4 jobs trying to provide for his family. And while he was out there fixing everybody else's car, his van needed attention, and it was not working because he's too busy trying to work with other people. So he tried stacking more hours, but there's only so many hours in a day. So that plan, it's like, it doesn't really work that way. We have to learn how to think differently. And one of the beliefs is recognizing that it's easier to make a lot of money in a shorter period of time when you learn how to speak. And I'll prove it to you. So the reason why is I want you to imagine that your aim is to walk for 12 minutes. If you walk for 12 minutes, then you might cover about half a mile, right? Not a lot. But now imagine if you're biking. If you're biking and you aim to bike for 12 minutes, then you'll cover 3 miles. Not bad. But imagine you are driving and you aim to drive for 12 minutes. You're going to cover about 12 miles. Now we're getting somewhere. But imagine that you are flying. If you aim to fly for 12 minutes, you're going to cover only God knows how many miles. But the point is, you're going to go really far. So what we see is it's easier to make a lot of money in a shorter amount of time because you pick a different vehicle. But all these things, every vehicle takes the same amount of time. The opportunity of the vehicle that you pick builds or propels your business to go the furthest, to go fastest. So you want to choose your business vehicle wisely. Same amount of time, totally different distance and result. So what a lot of business is about learning how can you disconnect your income generation from your time so that you can incorporate greater leverage, learning other models, other methods, other strategies that you can make money faster. And this is one of the biggest breakthroughs that I've had in my 12 years of being a professional speaker, and just dedicating, eating, breathing, sleeping, and learning how to be able to speak and share with people in a way that can transform their lives. Another lesson, a really powerful lesson, when we're talking about money, I know as health educators, we want to see people's lives transform. I had a heart attack when I was 12, and the reason I'm so passionate about health marketing and health in general is because it was one man with a health message who learned how to monetize his health knowledge online, and he packaged that health knowledge into a book, into a seminar, into a speech, into a program, and he sold that program to my mother. And the lessons that my mom learned from there was able to be applied to me, and it was able to lower my blood pressure, lower my cholesterol, and I lost 50 pounds in 3 months. I never put it back on again, and it just overall really transformed my life. And so I'm alive today because a health educator was able to learn how to transform to package his health knowledge and market that and monetize his health knowledge and sold it to our company, to our family. And that's why I believe many of you have a life-saving message. Some of you is life-transforming. Many of you is literally life-saving. And people are dying because they don't know what you know. And by not having the resources to serve the people you're called to serve, there's people who are not going to be reached. Like I told you about Razia. The $3,000 client was a mother who has a child with kidney disease. She's been going to all the doctors, doing everything that they said, and he's not getting better, he's getting worse. So because of Razia learning these skills that we're talking about today and how to sell from a speech, we are able to vicariously, through her, she's able to reach a young man, a boy with kidney disease in a skill that she knows how to serve and help and solve the problems for him. And it's this is what makes it so exciting. So the lesson one of the biggest breakthrough that I got from Dave MacArthur, he's like, look, Enoch, in this health education business, understand that every dollar you make represents a life that is being transformed. That the income you generate is the result of the impact that you're making in people's lives, whether that's helping them lose weight, helping them to reverse their diagnosis, helping them to sleep better, helping their parents to extend their time that they have with their children, helping grandparents to have the energy to be able to keep up and play with the kids and enjoy their time together. Like, just think about when you're making money, there's transformation in these transactions. And this is a result of transforming people's lives. So if you knew, this is the question he asked me, if you knew that every dollar you make represents a life that's being transformed, how much money would you want to make in your business? And I was just like, wow, well, when you put it that way, as much as I possibly can. Because at first, it's like if we think that there's like, well, I don't want to make too much money because I don't want to be selfish, right? It's like whatever these limitations are, these are the things that prevent us, they cause us from succeeding, and they sabotage our success because we desire one thing, but we expect another. It's like, I just want enough to be comfortable. But you realize that just enough to be comfortable, I believe making just enough money, the desire to make just enough money to be comfortable is one of the most selfish desires anyone could have. And the reason is because I don't want just enough for me to be comfortable. I want more than enough. I want to be able to provide for others. I want to be able to employ others. I want to be able to help others. So it's like if you were to have, if you look at a daughter, if you have a daughter, and you ask like, okay, how smart do you want your daughter to be? You'd say as much as she can. How healthy do you want your daughter to be? As healthy as she can be. How happy do you want your daughter to be? As happy as you can be. But when it comes to money, it's like, how much money do you want to have? Oh, just enough to be comfortable. It doesn't make sense. In every other area, you want as much as you can. But when it comes to money, people get weird about it. They're like, well, I don't want too much. I want to be selfish, right? It's like, well, if you realize that the way that you make money is by solving problems and serving people, helping people transform their health, and what's selfish about being able to impact people's lives and people value it enough that they're willing to pay you for the knowledge that you have? Is that selfish or is that service? I would say that's service. So the path to succeeding in this health education business and making money faster is by learning how to be able to serve people faster, to get results faster, because people will pay more for fast. Fast is better than free. When you learn how to pay people, how to get people results, then they'll pay you more if you could do it faster. That's one of the reasons why people pay me, is because I've really cracked the code and figured it out and just dedicated my life. I've been fascinated with digital marketing since I was 12 and entrepreneurs since I was 10, and I've been studying about how can health educators monetize their health knowledge online. And because what we do works, people want to pay us and they keep doing it and they're glad for it. And that's what people are going to do for you too, is because of the knowledge you have, because of the skills that you have, but being able to communicate those skills, that's what's going to bring clients who are eager to pay you too. Because let's look at communication. Let's say you are, let's say your skill set in just helping their health is a 10 out of 10, but your communication is a 3 out of 10. Then that means that your ideal clients, your potential clients, are going to view you and what you do, your skills, as a 3. The limits of your value that you can communicate is going to be your communication. Warren Buffett also had a quote. He said, not being able to communicate is like winking at a girl in the dark. and it's kind of funny because you can't, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. I mean, you're doing it, but they can't see it. They can't perceive it. So learning how to communicate the value that you have, that's what we help health educators to do, how to share your story in a way that helps you to express the credibility you have, to help you to increase the perceived value of the problem you solve, to help the person to see how much it's already costing them before they say yes, before they know how much it costs to work with you. Show them how much it's already costing them to say no. And so anyways, it's so powerful to realize that. And it'll make you doesn't that make you want to earn money faster and make more? Because these are people that you're able to reach. Here's an example of someone who's in the health coaching niche, and he posted this video. And on YouTube, and it was an interview. and he got 138 views. It's got bad lighting, bad camera, only 160 views at the time when he posted it, and he booked 20 calls from this, and he signed up 9 people to a $6,000 coaching. And so he was able to have a $48,000 week. You see what other people will take an entire year to make. He figured out how to make that in a week. Why? By learning how to communicate in a way that people actually want to pay. And here's an example of Dr. Kendra Lee. Before, when she came to us, she was struggling to keep her doors open in her business. And she got a lifestyle center. She's helped a few people and got some amazing results with her detox juicing program. But her business, she wasn't getting more clients. And we helped her to create a system for generating leads and sales. And now she has more clients coming in for a $500 program, her group program. She started selling those. We helped her to craft a $3,000 coaching program. And she was struggling to get one-on-one clients at $1,500. We're like, let's double your prices and turn it into a group. She's like, what? I can't get clients for $1,500, and they think that's too expensive. Why would they buy in a group coaching program for $3,000? And it's like trust us. It's like, we're going to help you. We're not just increasing the price, we're increasing the value through your signature speech. That's what the talk does. She's like, okay. And so she did that, and then now she got her first 7 clients with us, and she had 3 people sign up just like shortly after. It was like a week after or within 2 weeks of crafting her new high-ticket health coaching program. She was talking to a mother, and she's like, yes, I need this, my husband needs this, and my daughter needs this. And she signed up 3 people all in one call. And now her husband desires to work with her in her business, to be like, let's do this together. And she got onto one of our monthly challenges. We have a high income health expert challenge. And she's talking about being able to provide a Christian education for her grandchild. So where before she was seeing that the income that she was making was less than the expenses that she was spending for her lifestyle center. And again, Kendra Lee didn't have a money problem. She had a speed problem. She was making money. She wasn't making money fast enough to be able to provide to retire her husband, to be able to provide a Christian education for her grandchild, to be able to keep her doors open, to be able to operate and get the equipment. And so it's just like, and it's just a beautiful thing, because all these people whose lives she's transforming because she learned how to sell, and through the signature speech, it's a beautiful thing to be able to know who you're serving, and they see the value in what you're doing, and they're willing to pay you for that. So all of our clients, they've learned these principles by joining our High Income Health Expert Challenge. And I want to invite you, if you want to know, if you want to extend this learning environment, if you want to know how to craft a signature speech, you've got questions, if you're a health educator, an author, a coach, a speaker, or you want to be any of these, if you've got a health methodology or program that you want to get out to other people, then go to highincomehealthexpert.com, or you can text the number on the screen, challenge, or comment below the word challenge. And we'll send you a link of how you can join us. For every month we get together, and for 5 days we go through, it's an hour a day, sharing with you how you can monetize your health knowledge online. We're going to show you how you can attract clients who desire to pay you, the secrets of selling while serving, and we're going to walk you through step by step the similar things that we've been able to take each of these stories that I've shared with you today. And if you're ready to no longer be a best kept secret, and you want to get your message to the masses so you can make a difference in the lives you're called to serve, then join us for the High Income Health Expert Challenge. It's free to attend, and you can join for free. If you would like to sign up for the VIP coaching, that's $49. It's optional, but you're going to get a lot from just $49. We can get on a Zoom call. We got a small group. It's a red carpet challenge where we just keep it small. There's only a handful of people, so you can ask me questions directly about your business, about your book, your speech, your coaching program, whatever the goals that you have, and we can create a game plan where you could really really ask me anything in your business of how we can help you to get to the next step and what are some actual steps you can take, just go to highincomehealthexpert.com, and I'd love to see you there. And subscribe for more messages just like this, because I go live every Tuesday dropping different nuggets and lessons, and I look forward to seeing you in the challenge, my friends. Until next time, remember, God doesn't call a qualified, He qualifies a called. Have a great day, and God bless.